The two shots that changed the world. Imagine waking up one morning and hearing that almost every major country in Europe was getting ready for war. Millions of soldiers were packing their bags, trains were carrying troops to the borders, and many people believed that the war would be over by Christmas. It sounds unbelievable today, but that's exactly what happened in summer of 1914. The question is, how could the assassination of just one man lead to one of the deadliest wars in history? To understand what happened, we need to look at Europe before 1914. At first glance, Europe seemed peaceful. Cities were growing, technology was improving, and the biggest countries in Europe were becoming richer and more powerful. But underneath that peaceful image, problems had been building for many years. Several countries wanted to become more powerful than the others. Great Britain had the world's strongest navy and controlled a huge empire. France still wanted to get back land it had lost to Germany years earlier. Germany had become a powerful country after uniting in 1871 and wanted bigger role in Europe. Russia was the largest country of the continent and believed it should protect Slavic nations. At the same time, Austria-Hungary ruled over many different ethnic groups, making the empire harder and harder to keep together. As these countries competed with each other, they formed alliances. Germany joined Austria-Hungary and later Italy, creating the Triple Alliance. France joined Russia and later Great Britain, forming the Triple Entente. These alliances were supposed to stop wars by making countries think twice before attacking. Instead, they meant that if one country went to war, its allies would likely join too. Another major reason for growing tensions was nationalism. People became very proud of their own countries and often believed their nation was better than others. In the Balkans, this became especially dangerous. Many Slavic people wanted independence from Austria-Hungary, while Serbia hoped to unite all South Slavic people into one country. Austria-Hungary saw this as a serious threat. Then came to the event that changed history. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the future ruler of Austria-Hungary, visited Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia. Bosnia had been taken over by Austria-Hungary a few years earlier, but many Serbs believed it should belong to Serbia. Because of this, the visit was very controversial. Several young men, supported by a Serbian nationalist group called the Black Hand, waited along the Archduke's route. Their goal was simple: kill him. The first attack failed. One of the attackers threw a bomb at the Archduke's car, but it bounced off the vehicle and exploded behind it, injuring people in another car. Even after this attack, Franz Ferdinand decided to continue his visit later that day. While driving to visit the injured, his driver accidentally took a wrong turn. By pure chance, the car stopped right in front of one of the attackers, a 19-year-old named Gavrilo Princip. Seeing his opportunity, Princip stepped forward and fired two shots. One bullet hit Franz Ferdinand, the other hit his wife Sophie. Within minutes, both were dead. The assassination shocked Europe, but despite what many people believe, this alone did not start World War I. Instead, it set off a chain of events that quickly got out of control. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia for the assassination. Before taking action, it asked Germany for support. Germany promised to stand by Austria-Hungary no matter what happened. Historians call this promise the blank check. Austria-Hungary then sent Serbia a list of very harsh demands. Serbia accepted most of them, but refused a few because they would have taken away some of its independence. Austria-Hungary said that wasn't enough. On July 28, 1914, exactly 1 month after the assassination, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia immediately began preparing its army to help Serbia. Germany saw this as a threat and declared war on Russia. Because France was Russia's ally, Germany declared war on France just 2 days later. Germany's military plan was to defeat France quickly before turning to fight Russia. To do that, German troops invaded neutral Belgium. Great Britain had promised to protect Belgium, so on August 4, Britain declared war on Germany. In just over a week, a conflict between two countries had turned into a war involving almost all of Europe. Many people celebrated as soldiers left for the front. Crowds waved flags, played music, and believed the war would be short. Almost nobody expected what would happen next. Instead of lasting a few months, the war continued for more than 4 years. Soldiers spent months living in muddy trenches while facing machine guns, heavy artillery, poison gas, hunger and disease. Battles like Verdun, And the Sami killed hundreds of thousands of people, often for a few kilometers of land. When the war finally ended in November 1918, more than 16 million people had died. Millions more were injured. Four major empires collapsed and the map of Europe changed forever. The peace agreement that followed also created many of the problems that later helped cause World War II. So, did one assassination start World War I? Not by itself. The assassination was simply the spark. Europe had already become like a room filled with gunpowder. Years of rivalry, military alliances, nationalism, and political tension had made the continent extremely unstable. When the shots were fired in Sarajevo, everything exploded. History shows us that huge events rarely have just one cause. World War I happened because many problems had been building for years, and the assassination was the moment that finally set them all in motion. And that's how two gunshots fired on a summer morning in Sarajevo changed the world forever.